Well, this morning's Sunday Story focuses on the concept of restorative justice. It encourages a different approach to dealing with crime and its impacts. And here in Ohio, a number of efforts are underway to use those principles to help victims and survivors of human trafficking chart a new course. I recently had the opportunity to speak with those involved in some transformative new efforts in Summit County, already making a difference.
In Akron Municipal Court, Judge Ron Cable is not just handing down sentences, he's also giving second chances.
We try to do everything we can, so that they could get out of that life and maybe start a new beginning.
One of Judge Cable's specialty dockets is aiming to help those who may not have had a choice in ending up in court in the first place.
One is a program. I have RISE. It's called, it stands for Restore Individual Self-Empowerment. And it is a program for sex trafficking victims. RISE
Court started in 2018. The two-year program provides participants with resources like safe housing, drug treatment, and therapy, and upon graduation, expungement of their record.
It's a problem nationwide, but especially in Ohio.
According to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, from 2016 through 2019, Ohio ranked among the top 5 states nationwide for the most human trafficking cases reported.
When people think about the words human trafficking, they think about somebody being, abducted from a public place and thrown in a car and driven across the country. And although that does happen, it's not real common.
Instead, the trafficking victims Judge Cable sees are often women, exploited even as children by those closest to them.
It's been my experience in working with survivors of human trafficking that every single one of them, before they were trafficked, they experienced either sex abuse at an early age or they experienced exposed to domestic violence.
Teresa Stafford is the CEO of Hope and Healing Survivor Resource Center, which offers services for survivors of sexual assault, human trafficking, and intimate partner violence. They also partner with RISE Court.
It's so important that we don't just have a cookie-cutter approach in responding to human trafficking in our society. We have to have a culturally responsive approach to how our systems are responding to some survivors as a whole.
Survivors like Carla, whose identity we are protecting. She has not gone through RISE Court, but has relied on agencies like Hope and Healing to move forward after getting out of an abusive marriage.
I made him angry. I don't know what I asked him. He pulled over on the side of the highway and undid my seatbelt, opened my door, and just pushed me out of the car. No idea where I am, one shoe, no purse, because I fought. And he sped off.
Looking back, she recognizes the patterns of grooming she experienced and remembers a frightening discovery in her husband's briefcase, private photos of her published in magazines.
It stated my name, my height, my weight, what I liked, a little introduction about me, what I liked, and a phone number to call. So I'm like, what the heck did I just find? I finally got it. Like, okay, this is something dangerous. Like, I'm into something. And I don't know what am I in something? Am I for sale?
Carla now helps other at-risk young women navigating a new set of dangers.
A lot of years were robbed from me, Every human on this earth is worthy. That there could be other women or young people out there thinking that they are not worthy. Or suffering in silence just breaks my heart.
Joining those dedicated to helping victims and showing them that they are not alone.
We want you to know that we're here, we will remain here, and you can come to us today, tomorrow, or later in the future, and keep coming.
Judge Cable isn't giving up either, recognizing victims for who they truly are, fighters and survivors.
The number one thing I probably wish for them is peace. Just to have peace internally and, to have some type of success in their life.
If you or someone you know may be in danger, Hope and Healing has shared some red flags. So victims may be hiding in plain sight. That's the tricky part. If someone suddenly has access to more money, a cell phone, or more clothes than usual with no explanation of how they get them, they may be involved in trafficking. If their appearance has changed, Or, of course, if there is a new older person in their life who perhaps is a constant presence or is controlling, that could be a red flag as well. Now, Carla has gone on to help, giving her time to other organizations that need it, working with young women right now. We have a lot more resources on our website as well, on WKYC.com. Peyton, such an important topic. And, you know, like all three of these people said, it can happen, and it does happen. It is happening in our communities, and it can be hard to spot.
And I think that's the trickiest part about hearing even the story you composed with their stories involved, is that you hear about this all over the place. You might see a video on your Facebook or TikTok, whatever it is, pop on up, and you're like, wow, it actually is happening in my own backyard. So I think that's the hard-hitting piece right there.
Absolutely. And I think, too, what the judge said, it's not always what we see in movies about someone getting, you know, snatched in public, although that does happen. A lot of times the perpetrators are people closest to us. So just being cognizant and knowing that there are supports out there.
Thanks for that story, Isabel.
Yeah, of course.